How's it going? Let's do this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is that you are listening to We Live on a Planet. From coast to coast to around the globe, this is We Live on a Planet. I just said we live on a planet, didn't I? Yeah. I'm your host, Patrick. It is Thursday, August 25th, 2022. This is episode 560. If everything works out correctly, this will be on YouTube as well. 67 degrees currently, feels like 67. Highs are going to be about 77 eastern wind. Winds out of the east, 1 mile per hour, partly cloudy today. If it's your first time here, you can see that this podcast is perfectly imperfect. I do one and done, always unedited, unscripted. I have show notes in front of me, so if you see me glancing down, that's what I'm doing. I have to have show notes to keep me on track because my mind just is all over the place. But it is just a personal journal with a variety show flair. We're going to learn some things, share a quote, and then just a little bit of like what's going on in my life, what I've been up to. And then we learn some things. I think I already said that. For episode 560, you wouldn't know it. It sounds like my first episode right now. I think what it is because you guys right there in YouTube land are watching me. And for over 500 episodes, I don't have anybody watching me. And I've been putting my heels in pretty deep about resisting the the video aspect of making a podcast, because the way I look at it is podcast is just audio format. And if I wanted to be a YouTuber, I would be doing what I'm doing right now. And so I feel like, I don't know, but the way that podcasts are moving, I have to go with the flow. And podcasts are becoming video orientated as well. And you guys want to see both. You want to hear and you want to see. And so I want to give my people what they want. Hopefully this works out smooth. Last time I tried to upload episode 559, I had an issue. It was my fault and I learned. And so hopefully for episode 560, everything runs smooth. All right, stick around. When we come back, we'll dive into our quote. We'll be right back. All right, that's not too bad. Let me have a sip of my coffee. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it. All right, and we're going to come back with some chimes. Let's hear how it is. Sounds good. All right, let me, I had to clear my throat. All right, here we go. Turn it on. Turn on the podcast, Patrick. And we're back magically just like that. If you are on YouTube, you're going to get like behind the scenes. Not really behind the scenes, but I do talk a little bit between the breaks. If it's your first time here on YouTube too, that thing up in the top corner of me that looks like just a paper bag, that's what it is. It's a paper bag covering my We Live on a Planet logo that I have framed in glass. And the glass was just really glaring off from the ring light that I have that I bought off from Amazon, an Amazon purchase. I'm an Amazon addict. And I don't like shopping, but I like looking at Amazon things and finding things that I didn't think I knew I needed that I want. All right, here we go. Here's our quote. This is from an unknown author, but I need to remind myself this all the time. And I think you do too. If you listen to this, maybe it will hit home to you. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Have faith in the universe's big plan for you. A lot of times maybe we don't feel it, or we feel envious of others, of why do they have this and why do they seem to not stress about bills, or why do they seem so happy? And remember too, social media is so this is what you're seeing. You're seeing what people want that you to see. So they're obviously going to paint everything that is good, except for there's a couple people, you'll get town criers on Facebook, or you'll get the drama people on Facebook, but you also get the happy couple. Everything's just ducky. And a lot of times it is, but I don't know. A lot of times we feel stuck, or we feel we should be comparing ourselves to others, or somebody's here, why am I not? Or how did I not become, I don't know, whatever. I don't know. I mean, I had dreams and aspirations of being on Saturday Night Live one day, and I never followed those dreams, and I didn't pursue them. So they didn't happen because I didn't pursue them. I didn't hit New York City. I didn't hit clubs. I didn't do stand-up. I didn't do improv. I didn't learn that trade, so, but you are exactly where you're meant to be. Have faith in the universe's big plan for you. And that one hit home to me because when I became sober, I had to go to AA meetings. That was part of my rehab. And in AA, you have to find a higher power. And I struggled with finding a higher power. I struggled with the whole God aspect. I still do sometimes. I did graduate from a Catholic school, so I know quite about the Catholic religion and had to be taught about it and learned about it, which made me interested in other religions. And to learn that there's, I think, over 5,000 some odd religions practiced here in the world is astounding and amazing to me. Obviously, Christianity is the largest, I believe. I didn't say, I said obviously, but I don't even know. I don't have facts pulled up in front of me. I'm no Joe Rogan. I don't have anybody on the side that can pull up and fact check me. But the universe, I'm straying, but the universe became my higher power. And that, I got solace in that. And I still, a lot of times, that's my higher power, the universe. And I truly am like a Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson fan. And I love how he explains how we're all star stuff, and we're all created from stars that once were enriched, beautiful, bright stars that exploded and then spewed out their guts across the galaxy. And we're all parts of star stuff, and we're all connected, all of us. And that's amazing. And so I found this quote, "You are exactly where you're meant to be. Have faith in the universe's big plan for you." It screamed at me. So I just wanted to share it to you. All right, stick around when we come back. I'll fill you in about what else has been going on. We'll be right back. All right. See, I kind of wander. Happens. It's fun, though. I really enjoy coming out and talking to you. How are we going to come back? Let's come back with something different than chimes. Something different than chimes. Sure, that sounds good. We're back. As I was saying, if you are on YouTube, you're getting a little bit of behind the scenes. It's early Thursday morning, so maybe I'm a little low, my voice. My family's sleeping. My mom's in town. If you follow the show, you know that sadly I lost my grandmother last week, my mom's mom. But as sad it is, any loss is terrible in a family. My grandmother lived an extraordinary life. She lived up to be 92 years old, which a lot of people can't say that. Well, obviously you can't say that if you're not around. But she also had 65 years of marriage and 7 kids, 13 grandchildren, how many great-grandchildren. My daughters got to know their great-grandparents. A lot of people can't say that. There's some people out there that have never even known their grandparents. So we're very fortunate as a family. My grandma's funeral was nice as you can put nice and funeral in the same sentence. I don't know. But in the sense of it was a nice gathering. It was a really big turnout. She looked really peaceful, which was nice. I miss her a lot. And it is, grieving is a weird process. And there's steps that you have to go through, obviously. It was nice seeing my family, though. There's a family member, my uncle, I haven't seen in over 30 years, and that's too long. We're only 6 months apart. He's 6 months younger than me. And, yeah. And it was an awkward time seeing him because obviously it's his mother that he lost. But even though it had been 30 years, we all got together before the funeral, the day before the funeral, which was nice. So I didn't have to like try to catch up with him at the funeral, which would be awkward and weird. Excuse me. I was able to, the night prior, we went to the hotel they were staying at, my youngest daughter and I, Abby, and I got to talk to him, and it was like no time had passed whatsoever, which felt good. That should be that way. Anyways, he's my family member. But we're on social media together, so we follow one another. We see what's going on. And I've also had him as a guest on my show at We Live on a Planet because he is a writer for Hollywood, and he wrote that movie Camp Coldbrook that I've talked about so much here at We Live on a Planet. And I have my DVD movie in the cover, and my mom is going out tomorrow. Yesterday, we went to visit my grandfather, my mom and I, and my uncles and my aunt were off to the beach just trying to unwind and stuff and do their thing. And I brought along the movie with me with 2 Sharpies, a black Sharpie and a silver Sharpie. That way I could give him a choice because I want him to sign my DVD. He laughed about it when I told him one time. And I said how I want him to sign my DVD. And he's like, "You want me to sign the DVD?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay." And I'm like, "I don't have a DVD signed by a writer of the movie. So how groovy will that be to have him sign it?" And I don't want him to be like, "To Patrick from Alex" or anything like that. I just want his autograph, I guess, or his signature. But it's considered an autograph of what I'm getting. And have him put that on the DVD. Yeah, for me. And my mom's going out Friday, so she is going to have him sign that for me. All right, stick around. We'll be right back. I have to clear my throat. I'm sorry. All right, I'm back. I had like a wheeze. I could feel it. It's because I'm still a smoker. I can't quit smoking. I can. I shouldn't say I can't. That right there sets me up for failure. I can quit. I just celebrated 7 years sobriety of alcohol. I know I can quit. I definitely can quit. Yay, 7 years sobriety. Enough. And yeah, I know I can do it. So let's get this podcast going. We are about 14, almost 15 minutes in. Excuse me for clearing my throat without muting. All right, what am I going to talk about? I'll get on track. I'll get on track. There we go. We're back. You would have laughed if you just known if you're watching on YouTube, but me getting on track. I just pushed the wrong button. All right. Well, my mother is in town, like I said, obviously, and she's staying with us, and we love having her here. It's really nice to have my mother here. She's fun. She's groovy. She's hip. She went to Watkins Glen, for crying out loud, in 1973. If you've never heard of Watkins Glen, Google it. There was more people at Watkins Glen than there was at Woodstock. If as many people claimed to have gone to Woodstock that really went to Woodstock, there'd be like supposedly 5 million people at Woodstock, which there wasn't 5 million, but everybody says they were at Woodstock. But my mom was not. Woodstock was in 1969. She was in Watkins Glen, which is not far from me. And we call it the Glen. And there's a raceway there as well, and some gorges as well, I think. I've driven through there, but I'm really thankful that my wife and my mother get along the way they do as well. And it's not a strain or a stress to have her here. I know that my wife is not having to put on some kind of pseudo act when my mom's here. And she calls her mom, which is groovy to me. And my wife's name is Kimberly. If you follow the show, you know that. But years ago, our buddy Mike, started calling her Burley instead of Kimberly, just Burley. And at first my wife didn't like it. And then, which I can understand, because when you hear the word burly is like a burly, you think of like a lumberjack or something like that. But it became a cute type little nickname for some reason. And my mom will call her Burley sometimes, and it's funny. I don't know why, just to hear it coming out of my mom's mouth as she calls my wife Burley. So, yeah, that's been going on. And what else has been going on? I keep losing weight. I don't know. This is my broken collarbone. If you're looking on YouTube, you can see it popping up from my accident. They didn't fix it. They said, oh, if you were a young guy, we'd fix it if you were in your 20s. And at the time, I had just turned 50, I think. And it was my 50th birthday or my 49th birthday. I had just turned 49. And was it 49? It doesn't matter. My accident was in 2019. And I'm 52 now. But they're like, they didn't fix my shoulder. And so it pops out and stuff like that. But now that I'm losing weight, you can really see the thing of it. And I'm not really sure how I am. I'm not really trying to. I just don't feel really hungry. I usually, like, for the past, I don't know how many years back and stuff, I average like 180, 185, sometimes at the 190 when I'm on the heavier, pudgier feeling end. And I have what I call bacon in my back. I'll call it bacon or slabs of bacon. But I jumped on the scale the other day. I was 165 pounds. And I was like, holy moly, donut shop. I just don't feel like eating. It's hard to explain. I don't know if nothing sounds good really except to me but bacon. Like a BLT. Bacon always sounds good. But maybe I'll make a BLTs for lunch today. But I want to have a little cookout. My oldest daughter, Bethany, is going to be coming over today. And I have to do my mom's favorite salt potatoes because those are regional. That's a local thing that was invented in Syracuse, New York by the Irish immigrants. And they're delicious little potatoes that are really salty. You cook them in salt water and dip them in drawn butter. And they're just to die for. I love potatoes anyways. And then Hoffman hot dog, which is a Highline, if you can say Highline hot dog in the same sense, because hot dogs are still hot dogs. They're not good for you, but they're delicious. All right, stick around. We'll be right back. All righty. I'm going to do my call to action. And then we will learn some stuff. Let me pull up my phone. Get to where we need to be to learn some things. Take another sip. Mute you for a minute so I can clear my throat. And I'm back. Is it fun to have this going? I don't know. Add something in the comments. I would love to have comments. That would be really groovy. Even if you're telling me, Patrick, stop doing what you're doing. Don't do this. Show dying. I think of a Saturday Night Live documentary I watched before. And when Saturday Night Live at one time, well, it might be now, I haven't watched it in years, but it was really going downhill. And they had way too many cast members, and then they fired like everybody in one season except for like one or two cast members. But I remember hearing how Al Franken talks about one of the producers or writers of the show behind the scenes grabbing his hair as it was live, going, show dying, just out loud. And sometimes you wonder if that, I don't know. Here we go. Let me do my call to action. I'm going to mute it and let it do its thing. Oh, I just screwed up. Hold on. Do you enjoy listening? I have to let this run through now. Hold on. I forgot to push record on the Rodecaster Pro. Whew. Avoided a mistake. I recorded a call to action. They tell you should do your call to action like at the beginning of the show. And I'm already 22 minutes into the show and I haven't even done it. So let's do it now. Do you enjoy listening to We Live on a Planet? Have you subscribed yet? Please head on over to Apple Podcasts to leave a rating and review. You can even do it over on Spotify. Don't forget about my website as well, WLOAP.com, where you can contact me. And do me a favor, tell a friend about We Live on a Planet. Thanks so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Tell a friend about We Live on a Planet. All right, we are over going to learn something, and I am on this day of history. Here at We Live on a Planet, we learn things besides me just rambling about what's going on in my life and me pandering to you like I just did about telling, please, kind sirs and madams, tell people about We Live on a Planet. Hold on. Please, people, tell people about We Live on a Planet. I had to use the megaphone. All right. Oh, this is nonsense. Nonsense, I say. This day in history, August 25th, 1835, The Great Moon Hoax is published in the New York Sun. On August 25th, 1835, the first in a series of 6 articles announcing the supposed discovery of life on the moon appears in the New York Sun newspaper, collectively known as the Great Moon Hoax. The article was supposedly reprinted for the Edinburgh Journal of Science. You can open it up. We live on, or not at We Live on a Planet. You can go to WLOAP.com and from there open up this episode. But you can also go to the History Channel. Yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. Go to the History Channel's website and learn more about the Great Moon Hoax. It's a big article. but they had people believe in it. It reminds me of George Orwell's War of the Worlds, his radio broadcast where people went into hysteria because they thought it was the real deal. All right, here we go. Also on this day in 21st century, 2009, Ted Kennedy, liberal lion of the Senate, dies at the age of 77. He's the youngest brother of President John F. Kennedy. All right. World War II, 1944. Paris is liberated after 4 years of Nazi occupation. Yay. Dang Nazis. Art. All right. Art, literature, and film history. 1962. Little Eve earns a #1 hit with Locomotion. Come on, baby, do the locomotion with me. I just really butchered that. Exploration, 1873. Matthew Webb, an Englishman, a 27-year-old, a merchant navy captain, swims the channel. Yeah, the English Channel. All right. What else do we have in this day of history? I'm just kind of scrolling. U.S. presidents, 1950. Truman orders Army to seize control of railroads. Why? You can open that up and find out why. Westward expansion. 1896. Outlaw Bill Doolin is killed. I don't know who Bill Doolin is. I've never heard of that outlaw. Art, literature, and film history. 1939. The Wizard of Oz opens in U.S. theaters. Wow. There's no place like home. That's true. Man, I have great memories of watching The Wizard of Oz as a little boy in the early 70s. That and Willy Wonka when it was on, the original one with Gene Wilder. When it was on TV, you're just so excited. But the first time I watched Wizard of Oz, it was just magic. It's black and white, and then it pops into color, and all the characters, and it didn't matter that it was how old. It didn't seem old. The Wicked Witch and the Flying Monkeys. Just good stuff. Good stuff. Natural disaster and environment. 1979, Hurricane David is born. Hurricane David. Crime, 1984, Truman Capote, author of In Cold Blood, dies. Never read that. Here's another one in 1985. Samantha Smith dies in plane crash. Who was Samantha Smith? I didn't know until I read this article. She was a 13-year-old ambassador to the Soviet Union. And I did air quotes. You can't see them, but that's what it's showing me. It doesn't say air quotes, but it shows quotes, obviously. Duh. And then, lastly, sadly, World War II, 1945, an American missionary to China becomes the first casualty of the Cold War. So there we go on this day of history, and we got a little wrinkle on our brain. We'll be right back. All righty. Let me get a sip of my coffee. We're like 29 minutes in. I'm doing pretty well. Keep this puppy rolling, roll on. Axolotls. Axolotls is what they're called. Is what we're going to talk about next. Alrighty. You ready? Let's bring it back. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. It will end. Trust me, the show will end at some time. All right. Here we are on the facts site. We'll do history. We'll go to the facts site. I've been going over to thefactsite.com for quite a while. This is from one of my favorite authors over at the fact site. Becca Marsh is her name. And this is 10 fascinating facts about oxalots. Oxalots. Do you know what those are? AXOLOTLS. Or a type of like little salamander. They're groovy looking. They look like, how do I show it to the camera? Those things. Yeah, they got like the big fluffy gills on the side. They're curious little creatures. These creatures originated from Mexico and have bred in captivities for many years. Due to their happy smile and never aging appearance, they have become globally recognized and loved for many years. Oxalots are native to only one place in the world. Oxalots can be found in one place in the world, Mexico City. They're only native to 2 high-altitude lakes, although, sadly, due to one of the lakes being drained because of flooding, they can now only be found in the wild in one. Oh, man. Where is it? Yeah, bummer. Their numbers are decreasing due to the induction of predator carp and tilapia. Everybody eats carp, or tilapia is carp. They never show signs of aging. These unique creatures are part of the salamander family. However, unlike all other salamanders, they don't undergo metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is a transition from being a juvenile form to an adult. Axolots never outgrow their larvae stage, and this is called neoteny. Neoteny, Neoteny, neoteny. Oxalots are carnivores. Their diets consist of crustaceans, worms, small fish, and insects. They suck their prey through their sweet smile, almost like a vacuum. They are cute. They do look like they're smiling. This curious creature comes in a variety of colors. Most of we see in pet stores are white with pinkish features. However, in the wild, they can be completely different colors. They tend to be brown or black with olive or green golden patterns. The lighter colored oxalots that we perhaps are more familiar with are bred to be this way. They're often albino, pink, and lutetric specimens, which have reduced pigmentation in their skin. Oxalots were first brought to Europe in 1864 when the oxalots originated in Mexico, like I said, but they have been since become a global phenomenon. They were first taken to Paris in 1864, where the pet trade for these creatures began. The first exports were for laboratory use to study their abilities not to undergo metamorphosis. But during the process, they thrived in captivity, where the potential for the pet trade began. They bred well and fascinated people, so they became a widespread curiosity to add to aquariums. Finding a mate involves dancing. Oh, cool. Kind of like birds. Certain birds, they do their dancing and stuff. Just when you thought it couldn't get any cuter, these little things, they dance with their mates during courtship. When they reach sexual maturity at 1 year old, they search for a mate. February is mating season, so when the male is ready, they perform a hula dance, is what it says. The dance involves shaking his tail and lower body. If a female is interested, she will begin to nudge him with her snout. Axolots can regenerate new body parts. I think that's groovy. Like salamanders, oxalots can grow new limbs and tails like other amphibians such as fish. What makes them different, though, is they can also regenerate their jaws, their skin, their spinal cords, and organs. Just think of what we could learn from that creature then. The oxalot is the Aztec god of fire and lightning. In the Aztec the legend is the Oxalot, the god of Oxtol, the god of fire and lightning, transformed into an oxalot. The legend is that he used his disguise to hide from being sacrificed. And then lastly, sadly, they are an endangered species. Yeah. All right, that's enough about them. When we come back, we'll learn a little bit more. We'll be right back. All right. I had a couple more about oxalots. We were running out of time for my segment. Don't forget, head on over to the facts site where you can check these little guys out. Let me try to show you again. Aren't they cute? They're funny looking little creatures. I like interesting creatures, though. All right, here we go. Let's come back, and when we come back, we'll learn a couple more things, and we'll come back with just some chimes. And we're back. We came back simple with some chimes. All right, we are at Webster's, Merriam-Webster.com for word of the day. And right now, it's fitting because it is August 25th, but right now, it's showing me August 24th. And no matter how many times I try to refresh it, it's still showing me August 24th. And guess what the word of the day is? Well, you're not going to be able to guess, but the word of the day is... Come on. Glitch. Isn't that fitting? Glitch. It's a noun, Glitch. A glitch is usually a minor malfunction or problem that causes a temporary setback. Example, the email went out to everyone in the company because of a technical glitch. Glitch. So that's saying that's word of the day. And then also what I'd like to do what I would like to do is, did you know? And this is, I recently learned that volcano snails exist. Volcano snails. They don't live in lava, but these shells are made of iron and they live around hydrothermal vents that can reach up to 750 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is what they look like if you're over here at YouTube. Look at those creatures. Holy moly donut shop, right? They are called volcano snails, and their shells are made of iron. Wow. Little wrinkle on our brain. All right. Where else were we going to be talking about? That was probably Jeff Sharkey winning his heat last Saturday. Somebody put him into the wall the week before. He got his car fixed all up, and it was running a little wanky on him, but he ended up doing really well, and it's nice to see him in a picture with that checkered flag. So congratulations to race car driver Jeff Sharkey in car number 66. If you head on over to WLOAP.com, that is my website. And on my website, you can see all kinds of groovy things. All my old past episodes. You can see my Carpe commercial that I was in that ran nationwide on TVs everywhere. You can also see a picture of Jeff and I at Jeff Sharkey's car from last season. His car this year is new, has a new look to it. It's still red because that's the color of Sharkey Racing, but he's got a black front panel now. I'll have to upload a new picture of that and put that on WLOAP.com. I think that's going to sum it up for this show. I really do appreciate your time, the most valuable gift you could ever give me, and I mean that seriously, because that's all we have really here is time. And losing somebody as beautiful and special as my grandmother was puts your mortality in check as well. And it puts like your loved ones that you're around in check. And my grandfather gave me really good advice yesterday when I was leaving. He said, hug your wife often, tell her that you love her often, and talk to her and just love her every day. And I know he did that with my grandmother for 65 years. And so I'm fortunate for that. Well, thanks again for your time. And I look forward to talking to you again. Please, like I said, tell a friend. Check out my website or check out my YouTube channel. It is hard to find, so there is a link on the WLOAP.com. As soon as you go onto that in the menu over in the left-hand corner, tap the menu button and you'll see Now on YouTube. You tap that and it sends you to a link to YouTube. All right, my friends, I'll talk to you again real soon. Peace. And we're clear from recording. So that was good. That was 41 minutes. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you again real soon. Peace.